Okay, so we got our basic outline cut out, but I am actually going to need another piece, and the reason being is that when I countersink this onto the hood, it really doesn't give me much left as far as, you know, having raised parts and lower parts. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly make some lines around this and trace it, cut it out, and glue these two together, and keep this one on the top so that I have my my reference points to go off. So that's what we're going to do right now. Okay, first of all I'm going to cut that off, just so it's a smaller piece to work with. Oh, and I'm going to cut this off to the side so it leaves me a bigger scrap piece too that I can use some other place or something. Okay, so now we are going to glue these together with the drawing side up. This stuff works fast, so we want to be on it. And then I'm going to put some weight across here. And just, I want to make sure that everything is pushed together. I believe it's, what is it, 4 minutes drawing time? 30-second tack. So there, we can just forget about that for a bit. Now, we've got them all, or both of them glued together. We're going to now countersink it into the hood. Every hood kind of domes a little bit somehow both ways. So what we can do is, the way that this angles when it's sitting, I know that I want the front a little bit bigger than the back. So I'm going to push on the back, and that's gonna leave a gap here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the end of my marker and I'm going to put that right to the ground. I'm going to grab it with my fingers like that, and I'm going to get to, I want to get into it, so 1/4 inch, and now I'm just going to start slowly dragging, but my hand isn't moving. I'm still just lightly drawing. Now I think you'll see why I wanted to glue another piece on. At that height and try it from this way. Yeah, see, that's a little bit lower. I think that's because my hand this kind of scoops up, so my hand kind of scoops up, but at this point, at the end of it, it doesn't. So now we do that to this side, the other side, and the back side, and that's going to give us our measurement of what we actually have to take out for this to sit flat. Okay? So that's what we're doing now. Okay, now that I have made my lines, this is going to be the line that I have to take out to match the hood roundness. So I think what I'm going to do, since I have these lines already, is I'm going to take my saw, which I know is straight, and I'm going to saw down just strips down for reference points of how deep I have to go. And that way I won't go over the amount that I want. I'm just going to grab my saw here. This is just an old saw, but okay, so I'm just going to start dragging backwards to get my cut line. And what I'm going to do is just kind of get down so that I'm touching both lines. But you want to go nice and slow, like really slow. You don't want to go over that line. Even staying a little bit away from it. And when you get close, just draw backwards. Do not go forward. That way it's just a nice light little cut. And just check every time once you get to this stage. And we're pretty close there, so I'm going to jump over a little bit now. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to go right across the entire thing like that, down to your line. But no further. And even, like I said, even just stay above it 1/8 of an inch or something like that, right? You can always take a sander, and because we got to kind of put a little bit of a bowl in here too to let everything match. Just not very much, like 1/8 of an inch, but we're going to keep at that too. So I'm going to go ahead and go across here, and then we'll get started on the next step. Okay, so now that we've got our lines kind of dug in there, like I said, stay a little bit away or whatever. I tried to do the first cut with a saw. It really didn't work. It was binding on the blade all the time. So I just went with, trusty old Sawzall with a long blade, aggressive long blade. I'm hoping that that's going to work a little bit better. Now, we really have to be careful though, because you can see already that this tip is it flaps like that, so I'm going to have to keep that in mind while I'm cutting. Okay, now I'm going to keep going at that. I've already kind of started there. When you start this, you want to just lay this nice long blade flat. You don't want it up that way or up this way or bent. So you're just laying it flat, and you're just going to hold on to it. Actually, I think what I'm going to do, this doesn't have a button where you can lock it on, because then I could grab it like this. It cuts through like a hot knife through butter. But at least you could just kind of balance it a little bit better. So if you do have that option, maybe give that a try. Is that try grabbing it in the middle and just slowly bringing it back. But now remember, you're gonna wanna. I like to stay a little bit away from my line. I've got other tools that I'm going to use to get closer, and I'm also going to use this one in a different way. So I'm just going to get the big parts off. Now you'll notice that it doesn't go straight across. It doesn't reach all the way across. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get, past this one, then I'll turn it around, flip it over, and I'll get past that one. And I'll get this one off, and that's going to let me see my reference point of how deep I have to go for the next level. And then pop the next one off, and then pop the next one off, and so on and so forth. Once I get up to the front here, I'm probably going to use a jigsaw for this, coming from the outside. These thin parts, a little bit nervous of. They're obviously a lot weaker, so I'm very careful with the tips. That's why I actually flip it over. I stayed a 1/4 inch away from the edge, because this skull part is going to be carved last. I've got to do the actual hood cowl, which is countersunk on the skull. So we'll get at this, lay it nice and carefully, and like I always say, just take your time, patience, right? I'm using the guard, I guess, of the Sawzall for a reference, and I'm just keeping it level to make sure that I run a nice flat line. I keep it flush with the top of this. I usually just use reference points. Nice and slow. Saw it pop there a little bit. Now we're just going to turn it around. And I'm looking at this line, always making sure that I don't go too far. Sit it down nice and flat. There's the first piece off. So I'm going to slowly go across all of it, and like I said, at the tips, I'm going to use a jigsaw from the outside just to get that down a little bit. I might even use a rasp for these. Don't have it here, but I might use a rasp to get this down to level. Oh, there it is. Because then I can lay, like, once I get this down to the level that it's supposed to be at, I can lay this flat and reach over there and still get that side while staying exactly where I'm supposed to be, nice and flat. Okay? Now, we'll see how it hits. We'll give it a test bit. I already know that I'm kind of high up here in the middle, but that's alright. The next tool will definitely help that. Oh yeah, she's definitely high in the middle. So, alrighty, we gotta take up, but she's definitely a lot lower too. So that.